Beautiful song there, Black Shelton, fading away with that beautiful saying there. My Savior's shadow, just setting the tone for this week. Is another good week that the good Lord has afforded us. I trust that you've slept easy, you've woken up well, and you had a very restorative weekend, and you're ready to face this good week. My name is Debarl, and you're bang on time for AM Live Breakfast Show. We have a lot lined up for you today on This Is a Point. So who is particularly intent to see the Auditor General go home? Of course, there has been so many petitions that has been also put forth to make sure that the Auditor General has to go home. And we understand as well there was that particular legislation that came to the fore that also will clip the powers of the Auditor General. So is someone particularly intent to see the Auditor General go home? Remember, tomorrow he'll be appearing before the Public Accounts Committee for allegations of corruption. And of course, we want to drill deeper with the legislators. We'll be here momentarily to talk to us about that. That will be happening today on This Is a Point. So you can chime in, of course. We're looking at various aspects of politics that has been happening in the week that has been. And of course, also, we shall be looking keenly on other subjects as well, with the rallies that are ongoing and the politicians who are on the stamp giving their speeches and, of course, trying to woo voters as well. That will be happening on This Is a Point this morning. But for now, let's see what is fresh off the press this morning. As I walk there, look at the front page of the Daily Nation. This is what is the main headline today. Moi, Ruto clash in Rift Valley fight. And they say South Rift leaders accuse Baringo senator of showing disrespect to the deputy president by interfering with internal affairs of Jubilee Party. Moi dismisses Ruto's 2022 presidency plans as mere wishful thinking, and that story is tucked away on page 4 of today's Daily Nation. Also, States sets up its own paper, bans adverts. This also will be a very, very ticklish subject here today. All they say is an effort to try and stem, the spending. This is sort of an austerity measure. So what does this really pertain also for mainstream medias like National Media Group and others as well? We shall be looking at this and what is the motive behind it as well. Also, Jubilee's 61 billion shillings emergency budget, and it's broken down for you there by the numbers. You all this on the front page of the Daily Nation today. Let's see what we have on the front page of the Standard. Bid to block Waigoro from vying splits MPs. NYS probe House team differs on recommendation to surcharge her for NYS billions and bar her from seeking elective office. Two Ruto allies also feature in contested report. Sharp differences have emerged in a parliamentary committee over plans to bar key suspects in the National Youth Service scandal from holding public office. Bid exchanges that almost degenerated into fistfights characterized proceedings of the National Assembly's Public Accounts Committee as members differed over, and it continues on page 4 of the Standard today. Also still, there is a special report. Sack House helps without notice and documented pay at your own risk. Sack House helps without notice and documented pay at your own risk. Some of the costly judgments against employers. All this on the front page of the Standard today. The Star is holding this particular splash for you. Is Uhuru isolating Deputy President Ruto? A probing question is being asked there. And Gideon Moi complicates Ruto 2022 presidential ambitions. It says Gideon Moi and Governor Isaac Ruto determined to take over Rift. And this story is tucked away on page 4 and 5 of the Star today. PSC members in Inea blows over NYS report. Committee fails to agree on whether to indict key personalities mentioned in the 1.8 billion shillings scam. And you can see a standalone picture as well, where we can see Deputy President William Ruto addressing residents of Malava in Kakamega County on Saturday after launching the last mile connectivity electrification project in the area and officially switching on Malava town's street lights. That story also inside the Star today. We have also the People Daily, and this is the headlining story. Rift Valley MPs vow to lock out NASA. Legislators move to word of impact of weekend foray into the votes-rich region by opposition chiefs. That story on page 6 of the People Daily today. We cross over to Tanzania, and this is what we have on the front page of Tanzania today. The Citizen, not really Tanzania, but the Citizen in Tanzania. State attorney arrested over manipulation of drug cases. Drug czar Roger Sianga declines to comment, but reiterates that there are no sacred cows in campaign. Suspect questioned by investigators in Arusha in connection with dubious dropping of cases and framing of charges which enabled people accused of drug offenses to get bail. That story continues on page 2 of the Citizen in Tanzania. The unsafe abortions fueled by pharmacies. You can read all the gritty details as well inside the Citizen. We have also Mwananchi still in Tanzania. Jaji Warioba ajitosa vita dawa za kulevya, asema matamko ya viongozi hayasaidii kulitatua tatizo. And this is a story that you want to follow also inside Mwananchi if you're in Tanzania. We want to see what is also back home on the front page of the Business Daily. More pain for taxpayers as pension burden hits 71 billion shillings. Budget documents show retirement benefits will jump 29% next year to 71.8 billion shillings. And you have tabulations there, of course, of the public sector pension from 2016, 2017, how it has grown also up to 2019, how it will be. The payouts are projected to rise at an annual compounded rate of 17% in 4 years. This is a story that we have also on the front page of a Business Daily. Cooperative Bank lent 9.2 billion shillings to Centum's Two Rivers. Find all the details here on page 4 of the Business Daily. And reigning supreme, we can see Sarah Chepchirchir crossing the finishing line to win the women's category of the Tokyo Marathon yesterday, as compatriots Wilson Kipsang, Dixon Chumba and Gideon Kipketer celebrate after taking the top 3 position in the men's race. Kipsang finished first, followed by Kipketer and Chumba. And that story also, if you have it inside today's today's Business Daily. The East African is carrying this particular splash. JKI upgrade will boost East Africa trade with US. Kenya Airways looking for code shares with Sky Alliance partners as fresh produce exporters, I should say. Travel agents, artisans eye opportunities from direct flights after airports won top rank. That story on page 4 and 5 of the East African. Also, Centum debts rise to 190 million shillings in grand plan. And of course, you can tie this with what was on the front page of the Business Daily, where we have the Cooperative Bank actually lending money to Centum, and this is 190 million US dollars, I should say. Its borrowing has increased more than tenfold in the past 5 years. So what that does this portend for Centum? This is what is on the front page of the East African this week. In Rwanda, this is a story today. Will hold on new insurance players facilitate rebound. Will hold on new insurance players facilitate rebound is a probing question there on the front page of the Rwanda's leading daily, The New Times. You can follow this story inside the paper. Also, President Kagame meets experts on African Union reform, and we can see him here, President Kagame, with African Union Reform Steering Committee members in Gabiro, Eastern Province, yesterday. Also, experts on how airlines can keep in business. Musanze gets new technical vocational center. You can follow this story if you are in Rwanda. And this today is your editorial cartoon. But I want to show you also the picture. Remember, yes, it was Mugabe's birthday. And this is the image of the day. You can see here the aging Mugabe there cutting his cake that was donated. This is a 93 kg cake that was actually donated by a Good Samaritan there. And this also has really drawn a lot of flack of the cost that actually went into Mugabe's birthday. So this is the image of the day there. And you can look at him here with the ZANU PF colors draped all over his coat. We shall be giving you that story much later in the course of the program. Allow me to show you also what we have inside Taifa Leo, I didn't show you, but this is the editorial cartoon today, right? We know the politicians now, they're heading to the witch doctors, right? To look at their crystal balls to see what will be their future politically. And this is what Iga has drawn for you in Taifa Leo. I want to show you what we have also inside the People Daily, as according to Stano, all right? The multi-headed court there, or the multi-headed NASA, we can see Kalonzo, you know the principles there, and Wanjiku, she's saying, my prayer is that they will all face the same direction. Everyone is looking every which way right now. We don't know who will be the flag bearer as yet. And this is what Munene has for you inside the Daily Nation today. We got this, right? We can see the strikes. Of course, there's a beehive there. And they're saying they're on it. And of course, we know we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop as far as the industrial strikes are concerned. And these are your dailies this morning. Our guests are already here. We shall be looking at some of his particular headlining stories, as also we shall also be trying to look at what the editorial cartoons mean today for us as well. But for now, let's put this whole into a full run by looking at the highlights. Baringo leaders plead with Red Cross to resume supplies as government promises to enhance security. And Safe Menace will give you all the gritty details. And power struggles in the Rift Valley play out in public as Gideon calls for an alternate voice. The Council of Governors is now asking the President and the Interior Cabinet Secretary and the Inspector General of Police to act with haste and restore security in Baringo and Elgeyo Marakwet counties. The County Commissioner, Peter Onkwani, admits that the situation in Baringo is dire, but promises stern action against troublemakers. The plea comes as local leaders ask the Red Cross to reconsider its decision to withdraw its services from the area. Brenda Wanga starts us off.
A shelter away from the bullets that have become commonplace in Baringo, hundreds of men, women, children, and yes, even man's best friend have found refuge, albeit temporarily, at this camp, one of the many that dot the landscape in this troubled county.
Hakuna nguo, hakuna nini na chakula. Mtoto analia, hakuna masiwa, hakuna kila kitu, na tena malaria. Sasa unaona mtoto anakoa, mpaka nasimika na hakuna dawa.
The situation made that much worse with the withdrawal of humanitarian relief services offered by the Kenya Red Cross as a direct result of the growing insecurity.
The situation right now is so grave. Nobody right now in Baringo is safe. The residents who live in Baringo, the government officials who are working in Baringo, including security forces, and even other government agencies, including Red Cross and other agencies like the Catholic parishes, which have been helping the people all around, they cannot be able to move freely.
Now the Council of Governors is drawing the President's attention to the grave situation not just in Baringo but in Elgeyo Marakwet as well. In a statement, the chairman of the Council of Governors expresses concern about the deteriorating security situation in Baringo and Elgeyo Marakwet counties that has led to the displacement of hundreds and hampering of relief food distribution to those affected by the drought in that part of northern Kenya. The Council of Governors further calls on the President, the Internal CS Joseph Ngaiseri, and the Inspector General of Police to act decisively and quickly to stem the insecurity and mobilize security forces to end the lawlessness in not just the two counties, but others in the region facing similar challenges. The Council of Governors statement comes as the area's county commissioner issued a stern warning to those who are suspected of encouraging or engaging in cases of lawlessness in the county. The plea comes as the situation, especially in Baringo County, continues to move from bad to worse. The county has been hit with cases of gun violence that has resulted in murders as well as an increase in cases of cattle rustling. As the residents affected by the twin calamities of insecurity and drought and famine wait for help from the national government, they continue to face an uncertain future. Brenda Wanga, NTV.
The Rift Valley region is experiencing a supremacy battle As the Deputy President William Ruto finds himself in an awkward position, a section of leaders led by Baringo Senator and KANU Chairman Gideon Moi accusing the DP of neglecting the Kalenjins and now want an alternative voice. Kennedy Murray has more.
The fighting in Kerio Valley appears to have presented a new battleground for Rift Valley leaders. They are keen on making political capital out of it. Deputy President William Ruto is being criticized for not being keen enough to provide leadership or even end the ongoing fighting in Kerio Valley, considered a Jubilee stronghold. Ruto has fashioned himself as the king of the Kalenjin community. The younger Moi wants to take over. The fighting in Kerio Valley providing fodder for those opposed to DP Ruto.
Imegonga Samburu, imegonga sisi Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, Transmara. And I'll tell you this, it can spiral into something uncontrollable.
You cannot allow your people to die, alafu unatuma mabrokers wakuja haribu watu. Badala ya kuleta amani, wanaacha fujo. Dakika 5 kuongea kwa mkutano, watu wanapigana saa hiyo. Hiyo ni nini? We want the president to take charge.
Gideon has won the hearts of Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto, Emurua Dikir MP Yohana Ngeno, and now Elgeyo Marakwet Senator aspirant David Kimayo.
The enthusiasm ambayo tuliona hawa serikali wakitafuta watu waandikishe kura, hiyo enthusiasm tunataka tuone hiyo enthusiasm wakifanya walete amani kwa hii nchi yetu.
We also have alternative voices in Rift Valley. It is nobody's exclusive business.
But even as they drum up support for their newfound cause, DP Ruto's supporters are not letting them have it easy. In West Pokot County, leaders are saying KANU is confused.
And here you come unasema tunaunga wewe lakini atuunge na wewe na deputy yako. That's an insult.
Last week, KANU declared support for President Uhuru Kenyatta's re-election bid, but did not mention DP Ruto anywhere.
Hawezi cheza liki moja na Ruto. Hiyo ndio mimi mwenyewe ndio mimi nimetoka KANU na watu wote wametoka KANU kule Baringo na West Pokot. Hata West Pokot hawatapata kiti hata moja.
KANU is adding no value in Jubilee. In fact, what is happening is that the candidates in KANU, they want to use Jubilee to win, but not Jubilee to use them to win. We will win even without KANU.
The leaders from West Pokot now want KANU to dissolve and the members join Jubilee if they are serious in the re-election of the duo of President Kenyatta and his deputy Ruto. Kennedy Murray, NTV.
In the meantime, Deputy President William Ruto, who was attending a church service in Kericho, steered clear of the Rift Valley politics, instead choosing to assure Kenyans that August general election will be conducted in a way that the country remains peaceful during and after polls. A number of leaders from the Rift Valley region, led by Kericho Governor Paul Chepkwony, his deputy Susan Kikwai, Energy Cabinet Secretary Charles Keter, and members of Parliament accompanied Ruto to church. The leaders said they were confident that the region will vote 6 peace from President to members of the County Assembly. The leaders said Jubilee's grip in the expansive region can not be shaken.
Every aspirant must make it their responsibility and business to ensure that their followers and supporters and party members act in a manner to ensure peace in our country. And I want to assure the country that the government of Kenya will not hesitate to ensure that there is a peaceful election. It is our responsibility and our duty, and we will ensure by all means that we have a peaceful election.
Leaders from Busia County clashed with the governor, Sospeter Ojamong, over claims of graft in the county government. The leaders demanded answers from the county government over missing funds, challenging the governor to tell members of the public how the funds, which could not be accounted for, were spent. Ojamong is among governors whom the Senate's Public Accounts Committee has recommended for prosecution for failing to account for huge sums of money. The committee also recommended that he refunds the money. Ojamong, however, says the Senate has been malicious, statements dismissed by the leaders who were present. The damning report relate to the 2013-2014 financial year.
The same report County Assembly imetoa ndio Senate imetoa kwamba wewe haujafanyia watu wa Busia haki. Umesema utaenda kotini kujitetea, lakini mimi nakungoja kwa kiwanja ya siasa. Mambo ya koti hiyo mimi sijui.
Hivi vitu zinaandika kwa gazeti ile kitu uongo tu. Hakuna namna unaweza kulipa bilioni 1 na wewe huku unatembea kama jamaa hivi. Bilioni 1. Na vile serikali inalipa watu siku hizi, pesa yote inalipa kupita kwa Central Bank, inatumia IFMIS. Hata ukitaka kununua kalamu lazima ipitie sijui maofisi huko kwa governor wapi huko kule Nairobi. Kwa hivyo ni maneno ya upuzi, na tunasema Senate, nyinyi mlichaguliwa kuja kutetea sisi kama counties. Lakini kama mnaenda kuweka ripoti ati mtu ametoa 354 million, using which way?
It's no use talking outside that you are innocent, that this cannot happen. No use at all. Because what matters is, did you cooperate fully with the parliamentary committee?